As earlier mentioned, we turn back to the fuel shortage crisis that has been experienced in the country for about 10 days now. And despite the release of over 34 billion shillings in subsidy arrears owed to oil marketing companies, many motorists are running on empty and being turned away at fuel stations. And as Ngina Kirori now reports, the government is asking more questions than it is providing answers over the shortage.
At this Nairobi filling station, this fuel pump has been untouched since the wee hours of the morning, with white and red tape knitting its waist. When motorists arrive, they are greeted with disappointment as they are escorted out of the station. On the other hand, others are at the end of their journey because they must wait for the fuel suppliers to arrive at the petrol station. According to the attendants, they ran out of fuel on Tuesday night.
9 magari za diesel zikaenda, alafu gari za petrol zikajaa petrol station. So I have sold until morning around 6 ikaisha.
Niliweka usiku, nimeweka asubuhi 2 nikaenda pale Rubis ya kwenda Kobil kwenda Utawala, nikawekewa adhao. Sasa ndio niko nayo. Na ninaomba tu kama nitaweza pata hivyo nikiteremka kama inaweza nisaidia. Wengine hakuna.
But the fuel crisis has affected many motorists and how they provide for their families.
Imekuwa ngumu sana. Unaenda kwa nyumba, mtoto amezoea kukunywa chai. Unaenda kwa nyumba, una kitu, unashindwa hata utaambia nini mtoto. Na unajua mtoto haelewi. Mtoto mtoka hawezi aelewa. Lazima tu uingie vile unaingianga. Lakini wakati sasa pikipiki inasimia kwa barabara, haufanyi kazi.
Futa hakuna, pesa uko nayo. Customer anakuja, so inabidi tuongeze bei ya customer. Customer ukijaribu kumuongezea bei anaamua kutembea. Na customer akitembea, mimi nitafanya kazi gani? Ama niende ushago. Hii kazi venye inataka serikali tu ijipange ilipewa wase.
At Nairobi Depot, hundreds of transporters form a slug line, unable to access fuel. Off camera, many of them claim that individual transporters are being turned away, with priority being given to companies. Transporters of the precious fuel commodity say they have been stalled here for 3 weeks waiting on fuel, and that the price has jumped up from 115 shillings to 142, only adding to their challenges. However, the government warns that citizens should brace themselves for a bumpy ride ahead, as an additional 10 to 15 billion shillings will be required to subsidize fuel in the coming months, and they are baffled as to what could have caused the fuel shortage.
Sell the products, the gap, we usually deal with it the subsequent month. Of course, we've been falling 1 month behind, but that's an arrangement and agreed position between government and the oil marketers. So we are not quite sure what might have caused the shortage. Will it be hoarding?
Treasury, on the other hand, says it will leave these questions to the Ministry of Petroleum. Some of the stakeholders joined former Prime Minister Raila Odinga today to discuss the fuel crisis, calling it avoidable and something that should not happen again in the future.
So this is an issue that requires a much more extensive national discussions, that we come up truly with a solution so that we deal with these issues, not like an emergency, that we are responding to an emergency.
In the end, many Kenyans pay the price, as the subsidization of fuel costs fuels a stalemate between the state and oil marketers. A move intended to protect Kenyans has instead turned them into punching bags for the country's shaky economy. Ngina Kirori, NTV.